into it. If it's echoey, please tell me as well, because I attempted to use these and apparently it wasn't working right. Good morning. But today, what I want to talk about is a few tips of really how to grow organically with social media, with Instagram, with Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is that you're using. And focus will be kind of on Instagram today, but I'm going to talk about multiple platforms. That way it's helping more people, right? And I want to share one of my favorite quotes first, and that's if success could be summed up with a single word, it would be action, right? And I think this is very, very true. And it's something that a lot of people struggle with. They struggle to go from that idea to contemplation to implementation, right? To actually start doing something with it. And another one of my favorite quotes, there is an echo. I will be turning this on. Another one of my favorite quotes is from Tony Robbins. And it's that happiness can be summed up in one word, and that's progress, right? And I found this very true for myself. I finally learned that it wasn't results necessarily that always left me happy and feeling satisfied. It was making that progress and getting closer to my goals or getting there. It should sound a little clearer now. But if you want to be successful and happy, take action daily and focus on making progress. If you can shift from that results-based happiness to like a progress-based joy, you'll have more fun building your business, and you'll have a smoother ride along, right? It should be fun. It should be something that you enjoy. So tip number one, to get more followers, more likes, more subscribers, whatever you're trying to do on a platform of your choice, is just to take consistent action. This means daily if you can. Carve out some time. Let me know if it's clear now that I don't have to echo. Set an alarm, wake up a little bit early, right? It's about making some kind of sacrifice to find that time. If you want to get more followers, whatever it is, more leads in the end, that consistent action is what's going to do it, right? And sometimes the best thing that we can do is actually to kind of change how we use social media. A lot of us use it as a consumer and we scroll it for entertainment, stare at other people's lives and talk to friends or whatever it may be, and just shifting a little bit how we use that time can make a huge difference. And I, for a long time, for years of my life, I used it in negative ways, in ways that just consumed my time and didn't do anything for me. And I had to do what they call a hard reset, where you actually step away from it for a little while. It was huge. It helped me to really be able to kind of break the addiction, because it's real. Like your brain is releasing that serotonin and dopamine as you click and see new things at an accelerated rate, at an abnormal rate you don't get in nature. But also when you get those likes and those comments and messages and friend requests, all of that releases these tiny dopamine hits. Your brain gets used to that and like wants it. And when you don't have it, your cortisol levels go up. You feel that anxiety or stress. That's why we check our phones without even a notification, right? So taking a little break from that, even a week or two, can actually make a difference in how you feel and makes it a little easier. So there's a few main reasons that I would consider why you really want to be consistent with your action. The first one is simple. It's just practice, right? The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. It takes less time. You improve. You get more efficient. Your quality goes up. It's also a big part of marketing is testing things, right? Not getting it perfect, then launching into space. This isn't rocket science. We're at NASA. But it is something that you want to somewhat take a science-based approach, but the number one thing is to actually start doing it, to start taking action. And you may feel goofy at first, it may not be perfect, but that's okay, you're gonna improve, right? I recently saw a video of Matt and David talking, and they were saying how people would spend months writing their story out or doing whatever it may be, wanting to perfect it before they actually do something. So like if you spent the next week working on a YouTube video and editing it, making it perfect, you're gonna get more out of creating 7 short videos and actually posting those daily than you are from trying to get that one that's perfect, right? You're gonna get a lot more views, you're gonna get a lot more done. So don't get stuck overthinking, just start testing, right? And we've all heard of the 80-20 rule that says basically that 20% of the work that you do in your business is gonna get 80% of your results. I'm still getting people saying that there's echo distortion. Let me know if you can hear me. If we have an issue, I can try to disconnect this, but I think it should be helpful. So 20% of your posts are actually getting 80% of the results. Actually kind of analyze this. Maybe make 100 posts or less if you can analyze before that. But if you can go back and see which one's got the most engagement, the most views, the most likes, whatever it is, and then find out what you were doing in those and maybe do more of that. Right, duplicating that. And what's one of the biggest fears that people have that prevents them from achieving their dreams as a marketer or as an entrepreneur? It's fear of judgment and ridicule, right? But the reality is we're all humans. It's okay to not be perfect. Just start taking action anyway. So you'll improve, you'll build that confidence by taking action, and you'll start to actually feel better and feel like that. You start to get comfortable with it. You can make something new your comfort zone. Pretty soon you're getting good at it, right? Your desire to create your new life has to be bigger than your fear of someone judging you, because it's gonna get better, right? It doesn't just stay awkward and uncomfortable forever. The second reason that you should be consistent with your posts is because it's pleasing your audience, right? It's keeping them engaged. When they click your last video, your last photo, your last story, whatever it is, and then they see that new one, they're more likely to click it. If you can keep them coming, you're keeping them watching, you're staying in front of them. So just like the point of email marketing is to stay in front of people and continue to make points of contact, making more posts is basically the same thing, right? You're building more connection and relationship. And someday they may decide that, you know what, I like this person, I'm gonna see what they keep talking about, and they click, right? And then the third reason would just be to be more consistently posting is really to please the algorithms of that platform that you're using. So YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Google, all of them are really designed around providing a good customer experience, right? Because the more time that you spend there, the more time or the more money they're paid for ads and so on. So it's like in their best interest to keep you watching. So if you're putting out content that's keeping people engaged, keeping them there, they like that. It means that they're going to start lifting you up, putting you in front of more people. You're helping them to do what they do, so they're going to help you, right? So that engagement, having people maybe asking them to comment or tell their side of things and relate to you, and actually being more consistent is going to allow you to please the algorithm, and then they'll start to actually suggest you, right? All right, guys. Good morning. Colton, Francisco, Janet Lee, Leanne, Michael Schroeder, Maurice, Nadir, Brad. Good morning, guys. Thanks. Tell us what you struggle with this consistency. What holds you back from being more consistent with the posting? Is it the time? Is it the fear? Is it a combination? Whatever it may be, we can brainstorm some ways of what we can actually do with that. Right? So we're going to move on to tip number 2. Tip number 1 was just take consistent action. Be consistent with your posts. So the reasons are to really get that practice, get testing, get used to it, get that confidence. To number 2, actually start pleasing your audience, stay in front of them, and 3, please the algorithm and keep growing. Tip number 2 is going to be keywords or tags, right? Tags with Instagram. We can talk about this for an hour, but these are really how a stranger is going to find your posts, right? When someone searches for a tag, it allows someone to stumble upon it. And with tagging, your aim is to really rank for a certain tag or a keyword. And there's lots to this, and you can find other people that are marketing that you'd like to follow and see what's working for them. Maybe they're in a same or similar niche, and you can actually copy that. Market research is a totally normal thing. It's how a lot of people do it. So look at their posts, see what has the most engagement, and maybe what of those tags would work for you with yours. Right? And sometimes it's helpful to actually use less competitive keywords or tags. Make money online might be very competitive, maybe harder to run for. Longer, more specific ones like make money affiliate marketing might be less, or just longer ones in general. So maybe even question-based ones, because this is what people might actually be searching for, how to blank, right? Relating to your industry, your niche, whatever you're doing. I'm not going to give a lot of examples, but there's tools that you can use to actually see what people are ranking for. Same goes for keywords on YouTube. Nathan, in one of our YouTube courses, that's one of my favorite ones in Marketers Club, he talks about what he uses, how he does it. There's a couple of really good tools I'll talk about in a second, but it's totally normal to actually go out there and see what's working for other people and then model that for yourself, right? Don't think that that's copying somebody. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not unethical. One of those tools is called vidIQ. Really good one for YouTube. It'll show you scores and different things and what those particular videos are actually ranking for, as well as there's another one called Keywords Everywhere, which shows you on Google and other places what those different search, you do a search somewhere, it will show what it costs per click to advertise there, where people are ranking and what keywords. It's really helpful stuff to be able to actually kind of get some ideas of what you would want to use, right? I'm going to go on to tip number 3. that brings me to a point of just being likable and having fun. Be positive, right? Don't post about negativity. If you're looking to help somebody, they're wanting something that's going to be uplifting, right? Be the feeling that people want. Be that feel good and have energy, right? People buy your energy more than they do your knowledge. I heard David say that one time. It stuck with me. You don't have to be their personal mentor. You're pointing them towards us for that, but be inspiring. Maybe share something about your life that helps them to see why they would want to do this too, right? And like David said, people are going to more often relate to you on your struggles than your success stories, right? They're not looking for you to tell them how much money you made. It's as much as we think that they're more likely to relate to you for you coming from a normal situation. So this is why whenever they see you struggling or stumbling upon words, it's still posting that video and laughing about it, saying something about it, whatever it may be, could be a reason why you're actually connecting or more relatable, right? All right, guys, I'm seeing lots of comments. Keep it coming. I will check them in just a second. I want to get into, there's a few more of these that we have. So try to be less, like if you're monotone in your videos, or if you're bored, or if you're posting a photo of yourself and you look unhappy, that's something that could kind of push somebody away, right? So just using a little bit more inflection, a little bit more body language, learning to talk with your hands. These are things that I struggle with too, right? I don't always know what to do. But there's plenty of videos on YouTube about that, I'm sure. But keep the focus on having fun and just taking action. Don't stress about that too much. Practice is going to be the best thing that's actually going to get you somewhere. Tip number 4 would just be to be professional, right? When you go and follow somebody who's got 1 million followers, you probably don't see them taking that selfie in their bathroom in the mirror, right? Somebody holds the camera for them, they're doing something epic. You don't have to go to the pyramids or Machu Picchu to be able to build a business, but maybe start actually documenting when you go out and do something. This is something I've forgotten to do. I still don't. We'll go out and do something awesome, and then you realize you left the phone in the car because you didn't want to lose it, right? So maybe start actually documenting more of what you do. Try to make it more interesting, right? Maybe things that are simple too, like combing your hair or getting out of your PJs or having somebody else take it instead of you being over here taking a selfie, can make your photos and all of your content look more professional, right? And then just start documenting everything that you do. This doesn't mean taking pictures of every time you eat, but doing more of doing more fun stuff and actually sharing it. And you don't have to. You can take photos and use them later if you decide to, right? Now, tip number 5 is just going to be have a call to action. You're here as a marketer. You're here as a servant. You're trying to actually help them to get something that they want. And people buy a result, right? I heard, again, I think it might have been the same video David and Matt were talking about, or David and somebody were talking about, when people go buy a drill, it's because they have something that they want to use it for. They're not just going to go buy it and stay there, right? So same thing, when somebody clicks your video, a lot of times you'll see that good marketers actually kind of sell the result even in the title. The title will say like how to get more followers on Instagram, or how to make more money online, or whatever that is. And that's what people are actually looking for. So they see that right away. They know it's something that connects with them and it's helping them, right? So your call to action should be something that's gonna be there, because if you don't, then there's no action to take, and it's okay to have that. Like you're, in a way, you're kind of in sales. You're not directly selling to them, but it's okay to think that way. And if you kind of keep your focus on trying to figure out if they actually have a problem and if you can actually help them, this is a little bit of a tangent, but if you are a salesperson, if you focus on actually helping someone and listening to them, diagnosing, seeing if they actually have a problem, if you're in a place to help them before you just try to throw a solution down their throat, then it's way more likely that they're going to be open to hearing your solution, and you've actually listened to them and showed interest and understanding, and you understand what their needs are, what custom things they actually are looking for, and then you can tailor that solution to them, right? So as a marketer, your job is probably more than anything to kind of provide the right thing for what people are looking for. Decide based on what your product is, what your service, your industry does, what are people looking for? Right? If people are looking to make money online, you could have a solution that's somehow geared towards learning skills that would allow people to do that, right? Or whatever it may be. So guys, call to action today, I'm going to give you a simple one just to make sure that you're following Dave on social media, because there's lots of really good content to learn from on there. I believe it's at noon today. He's going to be posting on YouTube. Actually, the video is going to be about how to get more followers on Instagram. He'll have lots of good insights, some of which I'm sure are going to be very, very helpful. So I would really get into these every day. I would follow him on every place possible, and I would just start doing the actual research, but actually taking action on things. So don't forget, today, really, we just wanted to kind of help give some guidance on where we can organically grow online. And I think the number one thing is take action. Don't overthink things. Don't get stuck thinking that I got to do everything right. There's nothing wrong with starting out kind of feeling a little bit lost, because the number one thing is just doing it anyways. It's okay to be lost. It's okay to be confused. That's how everybody starts. You just got to be willing to go out there and get uncomfortable and make that your comfort zone, improve at it. Right? So really, guys, have a great week. Go and be legendary. And thank you for joining us on the Wake Up Legendary call. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time, we'll be with Rod, and we'll be here every day to keep you guys going. Have a great day, and thank you for joining us.